Hi, my name is Levi, and this is Unlimited Access. We're going to talk about everything medical records and everything that has to do with my health hatch and your expectations as a customer and what we can do to deliver the best service. Let's get started. Today, we want to talk about medical records.
Okay.
Medical records, there's a lot of things happening, but it's actually pretty simple, or is it complicated? What are medical records?
It's complicated, but it is simple. The simple answer is medical records, essentially anything having to do with your health, which could be when you go into your doctor and you get blood tests. That's a medical record. When they document your age, your height, your history, family genetic history, that can be a medical record. Anything that has to do with your health that's documented. So it's simple in that medical record. If you imagine you go into the doctor, you used to have the big filing cabinets in the back. They pull your file, you're like a color, open it up, everything's documented. So when you go see your doctor, they have to document their conversations with you and all the other things that go on outside based on what you tell them. In the past, that was very simple because you would go to the doctor, one doctor, primary care, he documents everything you tell him, they assume is true. They also ask you many times, sometimes the same question, just to see, because your memory is not always correct. So that's a medical record. And then there's a medical health record over a lifetime. That's where the complexity comes in and what we're trying to address. Over time, as things change for you health-wise, as the technology behind health really becomes pretty advanced, things like blood glucose meters, where diabetic patients can put it on their arm and it measures their sugar throughout the day. That's a medical record. So it's funny because when I talk to people, we say medical records, there's a thing called an electronic health record, a medical record, an electronic medical record. There's all these versions of medical records. It's really anything that has to do with your health that helps your doctor when you need to go see him, diagnose, talk to you about your health, talk to you about a plan moving forward to live better. If you have a chronic illness, how do you manage your health? Just tracking everything. But it's become really complex because we have Fitbits now, we have blood glucose meters, we have tests at home. You're taking your temperature. Yesterday, I was talking to, who was he? It's just a friend of mine, and he said actually he can do an EKG with his Apple Watch. Was that you that told me that?
No, I don't know if I
No,
told you
maybe
that.
you did
Yeah.
tell me that. Somebody told me that. I think you might have told me that. So anyways, which is fascinating because the idea is that you get people doing more in their home. They want people at home. They want people out of the hospitals. First of all, we have a resource shortage. Second of all, there's germs everywhere. So if you ever felt like you were being dumped out of the hospital, get out, there really is a reason for that. It's because they want you home where you're safe and the people who love you can take care of you. You can take care of yourself. You can control your environment. But to do that, they're giving you more tools, EKGs. Who wants to diagnose on an EKG? That is a medical record when it takes a measure of your heartbeat. So the idea and why we came up with this, as it continues to get pushed, COVID was a big breakthrough on this as well. People doing everything at their home because they couldn't pass around COVID. So we need you as the patient at home to take records. And we need to consolidate that and bring that to our primary care and say, here's what's going on with my health. And that's all a medical record. So that's where it gets really confusing because people ask, what's the difference between an electronic medical record and an electronic health record? Technically, an electronic health record is your lifetime of health records, but then you have a medical record in that instant. How is that for confusing? You're like, no, more confused than you were
I don't
before.
think it's confusing. I think what I'm hearing you say that there is a lot of things that can be described or defined as a medical record, and there's data in all these locations. And if I were to summarize, my health hatch actually puts all of that in one location.
Yeah.
So that way, when you go to the doctor, you have an informed conversation.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Data is the way to say it, really. And traditionally, the way the healthcare community has brought it up is electronic medical record, but it really is just data about your health. And that's where that data now is everywhere. Actually, one of our engineering lead who's been building the tool to really collect that data, try and put it and think about it. Every tool, Fitbit, your Apple Watch, none of them talk to each other. They're getting that data in a different format. We have some really brilliant data scientists taking that data and going, here's what's important about it here, so you have it in one place so you can make an informed decision. In addition to that, you need to have the education. You need to have the resources. What are all the things? So all of those tools are out there for you to work with your medical records, with your primary care. It's just, how do you get that in one place? How do you get that so that you're not spending time before every conversation with your doctor or A lot of people now are doing nutritionists because food allergies and intolerances is like at an all-time high. I have a bunch. I don't know about you. I have wheat, corn, egg yolk. They're like random. I think one time I found out
Are you allergic to
carrots.
garlic
No,
taste?
no. I also found, listen, garlic taste.
Beer.
I can't. Beer is wheat.
Oh my God.
Barley, can't drink. You have to drink corn vodka. I don't know how we're going down this side of alcoholism. Probably should also be in my medical record. But yeah, I actually read that coffee has an ingredient that actually causes problems. And I've been trying to figure out why when I drink coffee, it makes me want to go to sleep. So for me, my food intolerance is falling asleep, which makes me really unproductive, makes me really tired. It's so weird. But so anyways, back to the story, you have these, you want to talk to a nutritionist who can say, listen, let's do a food elimination, all that. They need to see your history. They need to see how that impacts you. And they can't get that data from the primary care because the primary care doesn't have time. So it's really important to get that data and arm yourself. And that's what we're trying to arm yourself with the records and any data. You don't even think about it. How much water do you drink a day? The most annoying question that everybody asks is how much water, and everybody says, I don't drink enough. It can mean a lot. And so you just being honest is as well as pulling in the apps. Like everybody loves their apps. Some people argue over MyFitnessPal, over Carb Counter. Everybody has their own. That's the other problem is everybody has their own preference on what tool they use depending on what they're trying to achieve. And usually it's driven by wellness, right? You want to be healthier. You want to lose weight. You're pre-diabetic and you want to bring your sugar levels down. There are specific tools that are really good for that. But in order to manage that, you have to food log, and some people love a certain food log. So you can see how the number of apps and finickiness of us as consumers can continue to push this data in thousands of places.
Fantastic. You've heard it here first. Your food app is medical record. And we tease a little bit, but in all seriousness, what's really important is that when you go in to see a physician, that physician has access to all of this data and as quickly and as easy as possible that they can look through it, read it, and give you the best diagnosis, the best idea of what's going to be happening or whatever it might be. That's episode 2 of My Health Hatch, and stay tuned for the next one.